Hi, we're here in the third city of the state of New Jersey, Paterson, with Jeff Young. How you doing today?
Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm good. We're just here to ask you a few questions,
Sure.
a few concerns from the people from Paterson and your neighbor city, Clifton, per se. They would like to know what's going on in Paterson.
Okay.
First
Big things popping.
Yeah. First of all, can we talk about the 78 budget deficit that you took over?
Well, the $78 million budget deficit is serious. It's real. I don't know if we can look for blame. I've said this before, and I'll say it. It is what it is. $78 million in a city or for a city of our population where a large majority of the people are poor and only 23,000 properties pay taxes. It's like getting blood from a stone. You can't get it. So we had to apply to the state, as the city has done in the last 4 years, for aid. And of course, when we met with them, they were clear to tell me, as the new administrator, that the city of Paterson had not done things that they had told them to do years ago. And because of that, we should not, because of the budget deficit that they have, we should not expect the then $27 million we got for the last couple of years, but they didn't say how much. So, understanding back in July that we had a problem, we started doing we stopped with overtime, and we did some other things to try to cut down on purchases. And then when we did our application, we found out the application is a lot longer than the ones in the past. And this is all after the state had already taken money from our budget. Okay. They already taken money. So they took $11 million before we even started the process. So if they hadn't taken the 11, we would have been at 59 million. So the $78 million comes because of the 11 million that they had already taken through pension and some surplus monies we had. And then they had told me about my public safety departments were very expensive according to their review, and that the way that we did business as a city, they didn't see a reason, and these are my words, not theirs specifically, they didn't see a reason why we can't take care of our business based on our potential. So we agree that we need to examine our potential and find out what do we have. And I've been pretty interested in finding out. We do have a lot of resources. They haven't been developed, but they've been sitting around and nobody's been doing anything with it. And an example, the Armory. The Armory, just up the street, while there was an attempt to turn it into a storage facility, would not have brought any real revenue to the city. It would have been a one-shot deal. I'm looking at it for a recreational facility. Indoor soccer, indoor arena football, basketball.
For the community to have fun?
Without question.
Okay.
No. This is not about making money and the community not benefiting.
Saturday.
The bottom half of it, one of the areas, I'm looking to put a bowling alley. But the community would also have fun if you had paid sporting events, because they can go and watch them.
Saturday.
And some of our kids and some of our adults may be professional enough or semi-professional enough to play in it. My point is that you have a facility that has the potential of being an NJ Pack, a Prudential Center, or even Madison Square Garden, right here, and it's been sitting there. And so when the state looked at us and said, well, you got the potentials, I had to go, okay, I kind of see it. Now they're saying, as I understand it, go and work with what you got, and if you need something else, you come back and see us. So that's what we've been doing.
Back in July, you said neighbor safe and street clean.
Yes.
And what happened with the storm that people was complaining about the snow?
Well, your question is neighbors safe and streets clean?
Yes.
And then snow?
Yes. Well, clean.
Okay. Well, snow comes with the winter.
Saturday.
And we have had a record snowfall throughout the country. And the city has, starting back in, I'd like to say July, but it was August when I first started interviewing the person for DPW. We started out by saying, the first thing I want you to do is work on a snow plan. Because we're only 8.4 square miles with a couple 100,000 cars. Less driveways, less handicap parking spaces, and less other places where you can't park, 25 feet from a corner. So if you take off those pieces off of the 8.4 mile square footprint, we might be down to 5 miles. But you still got 200,000+ cars, buses, and trucks on the street. We, as a community, have not, and it's the administrations in the past, I would say, did not hold the taxpayers and the property owners responsible for moving their cars on street cleaning days so that during the days that it snows, the plows could come through. So you have people whose cars are parked, you have mountains of snow on them, the city's pushing the snow over, folks want to throw it back in the street, but they want to leave their parking space open. Well, the problem is that parking space you're trying to leave open with the cars, with the chairs, the couches, the refrigerators, the bags of recycle.
That's illegal in Paterson?
You can't block a street.
To hold a parking spot with
No,
chair?
sir. Yeah, that's illegal in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, it's illegal everywhere. You can't do that. It's not yours because it's a public street.
Well, going on with the next question, you have a program in the community channel, Crime Watch.
Yes,
What is
sir.
it about?
Well, Crime Watch is one of the ways, when I first came in as mayor, but when I was on the council, I'm sick and tired of shootings. I'm just sick and tired of them. I'm sick and tired of people being afraid that they can't be safe in the city. I'm sick and tired of conversations about curfews when we didn't give the people who haven't done anything wrong no hope. So one of the ways to get the community informed and get the community involved is to let them know what's going on. Now, here's my problem. A lot of Patersonians don't have cable. So those 40,000 who do, we want them to see it and to share the information. We're looking at radio to talk to people. We're going online. We want folks to know, don't be a victim. There's one type of victim that leaves stuff in their car and they break into your car. There's the other kind of victim that somebody steals something from you directly, but then the other victim is somebody who's afraid to come out of their own home. You don't have to be a victim here. If we don't say nothing or work together, then the people who want to lock you inside will lock you inside.
Another question is about the credit union, John F. Kennedy High School here in Paterson. Can you tell us about that?
Well, sure. I had nothing to do with the credit union per se. It was the wisdom and intelligence of the credit union and Paterson Public Schools to want to create an opportunity to help our kids and our young adults understand the value of finance. And what better place than to do a credit union within a high school? Matter of fact, I just got an invitation to go to, in March, I forget the name of the program, but it has to do with financing, to helping young people with finance. And I think it's a good and better than good. I had my own savings account back in the day, First Union, First Fidelity. We had our own savings account. It was a part of Paterson. And you had to put in, I think, a $5 deposit. They gave us this little glass piggy jar. And I learned about managing my dollars. Not saying I'm great at it, but if I was hungry, I wasn't hungry with my belly swole, but I got a $200 pair of sneakers on my feet. I kind of learned that. I didn't know much about credit then, but I understood that I worked hard for this dollar. I'm not going to just throw it away. So I think that's going to help.
Going back, what you said in July, it's been 6 months already. It said higher taxes, crime, pollution, and unemployment could not be solved overnight.
Right.
What have been your achievement for the past 6 months?
Well, crime, high taxes, pollution, and what was the fourth one?
Unemployment.
And unemployment. They can't be, there's no way to fix them overnight.
That was your word.
I stand on that because if a person can't read and or write, and the jobs that used to be you didn't have to be able to read and write, they go away, then the jobs that require you to read and write, you can't get them. So unemployment will forever be there. If you have a record in this society and the employer doesn't want to hire you with even the smallest of record, you're not going to get a job. So unemployment doesn't go away. High taxes is interesting because high taxes come about because services. To fix a pothole, a small 12-inch by 6-inch deep pothole, you can't just stick stuff in it to do it right. You got to cut a bigger hole. So that guy or gal who are working there got to be paid. The truck, its gas, its brakes, you got to pay for them. The blacktop that has to go in it, it costs. So that pothole, even though you fixed the street, the salt from the snow ate it up, you got to fix it. Times all the potholes you have, taxes just went up.
Exactly.
Have a police officer get to you because of whatever, the gas, the car, his salary, his uniform, his insurance, makes taxes go up. Every year, they're going to go up. And what we try to do, and we're working on, is making sure that the increase in taxes is proportionate. It has to make sense. So if I buy a car this year and I don't put in place a system to make sure that the use of the cars is within a certain common sense, every police car that I get out is destroyed, makes no sense, because I'm buying a new car and they're special cars, so they cost more than a regular car. Taxes would go up. So it's that approach. So a lot of what we're trying to do and have done in the last 6 months was policy. Invite people to the table for conversation. Anybody and everybody's welcome. I'll talk to you about anything, but it's also when I'm available and based on whatever emergencies we have. Fixing a budget, opening a TV station so we can communicate with the public, working through our police department, trying to establish a relationship with the council, making sure that the employees who often are victimized, and I say that, the language that the employees are actually sucking the life out of the city is wrong, because they're actually paying taxes too. They're citizens. But folks are quick to say, cut their salaries. Well, if they're making peanuts, but they also pay a mortgage, what happens to them? Why don't we look at ideas rather than pointing our fingers? But that conversation hasn't happened yet.
What about pollution? That we know that Paterson have some plans.
We have been working aggressively on alternate energy, solar. We have somebody who's in charge of dealing with that conversation. We're looking at, and I believe strongly, that the city of Paterson potentially can make hundreds of millions of dollars through solar and alternate energy. Now, I wish I could just go and push the button, but it requires conversation with the people who do that work and whether or not we, the city, want to do it or let somebody else do it. We have a hydroelectric plant that produces energy, but no one has put together a piece to do that. We've formed a green team, applied for sustainable energy with the state of New Jersey. We're informing folks of recycling and its benefits because it pays us dollars. So that's the green energy pollution question.
Not for last, but my last question is, you said rules apply fairly to everyone.
Absolutely.
Over here in City Hall.
Absolutely. I'm not a judge and I'm not the police. And so my policy is, if you break the rules, you got to deal with the prosecutor or the police department. It's not for me to decide that. And it doesn't matter who you are. So I've heard before I got here that there were different standards for people. And I can see it now because I have some people who should have been given a pay raise and they got proof and they weren't given it. They earned it. And now in this administration, I've got to go and take care of that because I can't move forward without it. And there are a lot of people. In other cases, there were people who were given special treatment and it's clear. So if we in City Hall aren't operating under one set of principles, then how do we expect citizens to operate under those principles? And should the citizens expect us to act differently? I don't think so. I'm taking a furlough. I'm on furlough with the citizens, with the employees, because I believe that they didn't cause this problem. Heck, I didn't cause the problem. I was on the council, but I didn't know how bad it was. But if we're going to fix and turn this situation around, everybody's got to pay. I'm paying. I pay through my salary, and I pay through my taxes. I'm paying. We got to stop pointing fingers at people and try to come up with an answer that makes sense. But because we spend a lot of time doing this, we don't get to that conversation.
You got the last word for the people from Paterson and surrounding that you wanted to say to close up?
Sure. First of all, I want to thank Nesio TV. I want to thank you for wanting to know. I want to tell you that there are always going to be rumors. And I can't help it. I'm not going to argue with them. I'm not going to try to quell them. Because people make up their positions based on what they hear. Which proves to me that this city hall has been closed for so long. Because you should feel comfortable to call down and ask. If somebody calls me today on the phone, for example, says, are you going to get rid of parades? I'd be able to tell them, no, that's not my conversation. But what's happened is other people have got their ear and told them, this is what's happening.
Yeah, there's a rumor the parades are going.
I know about the rumors. There's a rumor that I'm going to be 6'6". I started it. It ain't true.
Sorry.
But until the citizens believe and feel comfortable that they can call and get their questions answered, then people who are masters at rumors will continue to be masters. Okay. I don't have time or patience or interest in their rumors.
Okay. We was here with Jeff Young, the mayor from Paterson, the third big city of New Jersey. Thank you for your time and happy birthday. We know your birthday's coming up.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.